let's bring up our next interview guest. Please welcome actress from Severance and Perry Mason, Jen Tullock. Thank you. You can hold that one in case you want to say anything.
I was told I could have both mics, but that's fine.
Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
So, last year, you were in a play called The Wind and the Rain about Sonny's Bar in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was a play on a boat, which was not, as I originally understood it, to be a carnival cruise. It was, in fact, a play with the vineyard. And it was about this very cool Norwegian woman called Tuna Johansen. And she, yes, absolutely, big Tuna fans here. She ran Sonny's with her late husband, Sonny. And his family was in the life. And by that, I don't mean raging homosexuals like myself. I mean, they were the mafia. And when he fell ill, his family stepped in and said, we're going to take over. And she was like, oh, fuck, no, you're not. And took them to court to maintain the run of the bar herself. And it was like a years-long legal battle. And they were like, fuck you, you little Scandinavian woman. And she was like, fuck you, you crazy mafioso people. In the end, she won. And so, yes. She, there was a play written about her by a playwright named Sarah Gancher, and they wanted to do it in Red Hook to sort of honor the history of Sonny's, and so we did it on a boat.
Wow. So this is site-specific theater, I'm told.
Yeah, a maritime situation, yes.
Wow. And was the boat moored?
I believe
Aren't any of us moored, honey?
It's a good point.
It's been a rough year.
Yeah. Hey, well.
Mr. Moses, I believe it was the Waterfront Museum. Is that right? That's where it took place?
That is correct. That is the name of the boat.
How
the
was
waterfront.
that?
It is docked. It is a docked boat.
Docked.
It's actually a very cool place. I love Red Hook so much. It's my favorite part of Brooklyn. And if you can get down on that tippy tip, it's really special because I feel like it's really untouched by time. And I think like the social culture there is very honest and grounded and cool and a lot of cheap beer. So sort of ticking all the boxes for me. Although I have to say, in the spirit of transparency, I do live in the West Village.
Have you seen that woman? Do you know where those women's friends are?
That's Tiffany, yeah. We dated for 6 years.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you obviously, Red Hook is a neighborhood that needs preservation, as you're saying. Are there other areas of the city that historical areas that you also support preservation-wise?
I don't know what neighborhood it technically is, but I will tell you where I get my off-market eczema cream. Is a very important part of the city to me.
Great. Fantastic. We also know, we spoke a little before the show, that you are also a supporter of Stonewall as well, that's an important historical site for you as
Big
well.
gay. I'm a big gay.
Right. Well, I didn't say it. She did.
For anyone who's not in the know, I mean, could we talk about the importance of Stonewall? Like, not only what it means maybe to you personally, but Greg, feel free to chime in, but what it means to, New York.
Well, it was a place that was open for a very long time in an area where there was a burgeoning queer scene. I mean, it was so long that even the word gay didn't quite mean what it did back in the early 20th century and mid 20th century. But by 1969, in the 60s, all of these bars were being policed and they were being shut down. And it wasn't illegal to be gay, but it was certainly, they were coming up with all these different reasons to close the bars and arrest people. So finally, just kind of reached a boil here in the summer of 1969 at the Stonewall Inn. And it basically is, people think of it as one night of kind of like violence, but it really lasted a few days afterwards. And that's really where the birth of the modern LGBT movement. Although, I mean, there's things that happened before, so I don't want to say it was the moment, but it was basically the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know if that's a weird metaphor with this, but from there, within the year later, the first gay pride parade, just literally a year later. So it has huge importance to American history, but it's it's at the center of gay and lesbian, LGBT, transgender history.
Wonderful. Very important, and not far from this theater either. Now, Jen, in October, you are starring in a one-woman show called Nothing Can Take You from the Hand of God that you wrote with Frank Winters.
Yeah, easy to remember.
Yeah, rolls off the tongue. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, it is a fictional play, but inspired by some of my upbringing in the evangelical church down south, which was so fun. And
it's a
then I'm
blast.
fine. And yeah, so it is about
Love speaking in tongues. It's great,
same,
isn't it?
absolutely. I'll do
give
a
you a-
Bible study after this.
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
do a demonstration.
We're talking about Levitical law, I was told. Fantastic.
Yes.
Evan, they're bonding.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard Stonewall and Levitical law in the same sentence, I would be a Rockefeller.
They do actually come together more often than you think. Yes.
I think you're right about that. Yes, it is a fictional play, but inspired by those years, and it is about an essayist, a queer essayist, who sort of monetized talking about that trauma. And then we meet her at the beginning of a book tour where she receives a cease and desist by the woman she claims to have had an affair with all those years ago, who says the stories are not true. So it's about revisionist history and the lies we tell ourselves in order to survive. Not dissimilar to the show, I feel.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, no, the history we tell here is not revisionist.
What
And
is
listen,
it-
this is a very mature, intellectual show. So my next question is, you play multiple characters in this show, is that correct?
That's correct.
To prepare, did you watch Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps?
7 times a day.
Great, perfect. That is the best way to prepare for theater. But,
I watched the original Jerry Lewis.
really,
Yeah, even though he said women are not funny.
you can't win them all. No one's right all the time.
Mr. Moses, can I ask a question?
Please.
So Jen, I mean, you're talking about revisionist history with a new upcoming show in October, and obviously you've done this show about Sonny's. What does it feel like for you as an artist to sort of be channeling, something historic or doing justice to, something that's come before you?
Jazzy. It's nerve-wracking. I think it was nerve-wracking, certainly, to play a real person who was coming to the show. We also would go to Sonny's after that show, and she would be at the bar. I had bleached my hair blonde, which was ill-advised. I thought I was going to look like Melanie Griffiths, and I did, in fact, just look like a desert rodent. It wasn't working with my complexion. And I'm married to a beautiful Scandinavian woman who's here somewhere tonight. So if you are married to a beautiful blonde person and you are not naturally blonde, don't do it. Don't do it.
And Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know a good amount about Sonny's, right? From
I do,
podcast,
actually.
but also maybe from hanging out there.
I go there quite a lot. I didn't want to interrupt, but I am
Come
a
in,
semi-regular.
Can you tell us, maybe to you, someone who has studied a lot of New York history, kind of why you find Sonny's so enthralling and important, maybe?
Well, we just on the show did a 2-part on called the oldest bars in New York City, and where we actually went to bars and recorded the history. So we went to France's, Near's, McSorley's, and Pete's. And so it was just profound to understand that, no, these are businesses that trace themselves back to the 19th century. It's kind of hard to believe that these places still exist and thrive. But most of those places wear their own history on their walls. It collects, at McSorley's, they have a headline of Abraham Lincoln being assassinated. It's profound. Sonny's is a little bit different, because it is also super old. It traces back to the late 19th century, early 20th, when it was longshoremen, stevedores would go there. It was part of that industrial waterfront. But today, when you walk in, it's not necessarily the history of the neighborhood that you see. It's the history of Sonny. It's got all these quirky things all over the place, and
A lot of bobbleheads.
Lots of bobbleheads, lots of interesting old signs that aren't necessarily indicative of the neighborhood, but are indicative of him. So that personality is going to persevere as long as the Sonny's is open, which is pretty amazing, because it is on the kind of in many ways the end of the earth in some senses, because it's very hard to it's not easy
The
to
bar
get
at the
to.
end of the world. That's what they called it for many
It's
years.
not that easy to get to Red Hook, so it's the furthest part even from how you would get there. And so to find this really special place, I think even adds to its luster.
I think it was also one of those classic stories because Sonny was really gregarious and warm, and everyone loved him, and he knew everyone's name. He was like the mayor of Red Hook. And also, his partner, this woman, Tuna, was doing a lot of the work sort of behind the scenes and wasn't really given credit until after his death. And she really wanted to honor his legacy by maintaining the bar, even though his family came in and said no. So it was cool to do a play that sort of told a story about a woman who had held up, I think, not only her husband, but her husband's place of work for him for many years. And it was cool to interact with neighbors that had known both of them for many years afterwards who were like, I did not know that part of the story.
And I just have to quickly add that, like, there's, like, some warehouses that are, like, you know, back in the day would have been, like, you know, places, warehouses, you know, industrial use. Today, there's, like, really fancy weddings go on there. And it's, like, so, but, like, the bar is the same. So you have to kind of, just, like, so interesting to see how the rest of the neighborhood changed, but this hasn't changed.
Wow.
Now-
So a strong woman working behind the scenes to support a man, that must be
Can
the
you believe
first
it?
and only time that ever happened.
I do have one last question. So earlier today, after I woke up on a conference table, I did Google the landmarks map and looked it up. And Red Hook, I think, only maybe has one landmark in it at all. And so the question I have is, between you two, do you think Sonny's should be a landmark in New York City?
Well, there's always this debate. I know I mean, like, every day, like, every month, you're like, oh, this restaurant closed. This, you know, like, it's a little bit different than, say, like, a building. You can preserve a building. But, like, if it's a historic restaurant or bar or something like that, or just something that's so meaningful, like, what can you do? I mean, that's still going on. There are some ideas out there. We'll bring it up with Mayor Mondami if that happens, but of helping out, additionally helping out these classic businesses, because, like, the building, like, the Sonny's is in, is not like a great, like, it's just a building, right? It's what happens in that building that's been so special. So then that's the debate, because the landmarking law was basically to preserve architecture. You know, like, and that's been changed over the years because they realized that, like, well, maybe we need to broaden our horizons. So that debate's still happening. So right now, Sonny's can't be landmarked, no.
And that's what I was going to say also.
So,
We were just
Jen, I do really quickly want to ask you about some of your television work. You're on one of my favorite shows, I think a very popular show, Perry Mason. So what is it like to work with Raymond Burr?
Extraordinary.
Yeah, is he a nice guy? So also for that show took place in the 30s. That's my understanding. An era of time that I have no notes for. What was it like to, like, show up on a set that looks like New York, or the show you shot in LA?
Los Angeles, yeah.
Yes, it looks like LA in the 1930s. Is that weird?
Yes, and magical. We shot on the Warner Brothers lot, so I remember thinking, being under a sun umbrella in, like, a floor-length A-line dress in a golf cart with, like, finger waves, I was like, this is it. This is it. I'm done. This is the apex of my career. I don't give a shit about anything else. I can run out of money. It's fine. I got to be in this golf cart with these finger waves. It was really, really cool.
That's great. And also, everyone smoked cigarettes on that show, so you must have felt really cool all the time.
I'm not. I didn't.
Okay, well.
I chain smoked. I chain smoked on that show.
Those are fake cigarettes. I don't know how television works.
I'm going to get in trouble. I don't know by whom, but by someone, I feel. But I will say, those herbal cigarettes, I don't know if anyone here has ever smoked an herbal cigarette. There are no additives, which is what makes the cigarette smooth. It is like smoking an exhaust pipe on a Subaru. Like, it is not, I am contractually obligated to say Subaru because I'm gay. But they suck because you think they're better for you, quote unquote, because they don't have the other garbage in there. But we, halfway through the season, hypothetically, I'm saying hypothetically, maybe this happened, we were like, can you just get us real cigarettes?
Really? Wow. Well,
The show got canceled. I can say it now. It's fine.
next month, when we have Matthew Reese on this show, we will ask him that same question. I do quickly want to ask just one question about Severance, which you were on, which is a fantastic show on right now. Hey, if the Emmy voters are in the room. So my only question is, how does it end? No, honestly, did they do you know? Did they tell you? Did they tell you anything?
You know. I will tell you this: the cigarettes are fake on Severance.
Great. Well, so thank you very much. We are now going to move on. Yes, let's give it up for Jen Tullock.